All right, I'm just going to do a quick recap on protecting yourself and safeguarding yourself in collaborative writing projects that involve co-authors, ghostwriters, contributors to a shared universe, making sure that you're getting fairly compensated, you're getting the proper credit, control over your creative contributions, making sure that you are protected in that contract. So, establishing clear agreements, a draft and detailed contract, which covers the ownership and the copyrights, and clearly defines your compensation, defining creative control. So, if something were to be adapted into a movie, what kind of creative control, who gets the final say, including the credit and attribution. So, how the names will appear on the work and the acknowledgments, how they will be handled. Making sure you're addressing any intellectual property rights. So, you want to make sure that you have the ownership of the original work, that the rights to derivative works are also conveyed. You want to make sure that there are licensing permissions and that those are clearly outlined and who's responsible for securing them. Navigating your revenue and profit sharing, making sure that you have equal shares. Each contributor receives an equal portion of the revenue, or if you have proportional shares, so it's divided based on like a percentage of their contribution. But those need to be clearly outlined and detailed. Addressing any expenses and deductions and how those will be handled. Who's responsible for production costs, marketing expenses, any other deductions. Excuse me. Clarify whether expenses will be deducted from revenue before profit sharing. It's an important one. How are they calculated? You need to know exactly how they're calculated. Managing your disputes and termination, looking for your termination for breach, looking for your termination of convenience. How do I get out of this? And then how are disputes handled, whether it's through mediation or arbitration. Those should also be defined in your contract. So, best practices for collaboration work: clearly communicate and do so regularly to keep any issues from arising, kind of handle them as they come in. Document everything. I like to do things in email. That way, there's always, always, always a trail. And seek legal advice. When it starts to get crazy, you need to seek legal advice as needed. Preparing for potential issues. Be proactive, address potential issues before they arise by having clear agreements and contingencies in place. Being proactive can help prevent conflicts and ensure a smooth collaborative process. And again, understanding those rights. So it's your job to educate yourself about the legal rights and obligations in a collaborative writing project. Know where the boundaries are, know what you can and can't do, and understanding these rights will help you navigate the project more effectively and protect your interests. So again, you have to be very involved and you have to be willing to educate yourself on all of these things in order to make it a successful project.